Good evening, everyone. Today we are going to solve Leetcode problem number 1437. Check if all ones are at least length k places away. The statement of problem is given an binary array nums and an integer k. Return true if all ones are at least k places away from each other. Otherwise, return false. Okay, the problem of the statement is very simple. According to the statement, we will have two things as an input. One, we will have an array which is named as nums, and we will have one integer which is named as k. Okay, so the array will be binary array. It means that the elements or values present in the array will be only 0 or 1s, as we can see in example number 1 and example number 2, that this is the input array and all the values present in the array are only zeros and 1. Okay, so according to the statement, we have to return the output as boolean. Like we will have to return false and true, and on which basis we have to check that if all the ones present in the array are at least k places away from each other or not. Okay, so here this is the input array nums, now which is consist of zeros and ones, and this is k which will also input k has the value of 2. So we will have to find that in this input array all the ones present should be away from each other, or should be present at k distance from each other. Okay, so here if we can see that here this one is present here and the other one is present at the k distance or more than k distance away. Okay, and here we can see that this is two ones, and if we compare these two ones, so here the distance between these two ones is also equal to k. So according to this example, we can see that all the ones present in this example are at least k distance away. So we will return true that this nums array is according to the statement. This is true because all the ones present in this array are away from each other at least k distance or more than k distance. So here as we can see in this example 2, that these two ones are present here, the value of k is also 2. So here these two ones are present k distance away, but these two ones, this one and this one is not present k distance away. So distance between these two ones are smaller than k. So here we will return false as an output. Okay, so here if we move to its constraints, so here we can see that a non-short length will be greater or equal to 1 and smaller or equal to 10 raised to power 5, and the length of the k could be 0 or it could be smaller or equal to nums dot length, and nums of I is 0 and 1, as mentioned in the statement that nums of I could be 0 or 1. Okay, so the statement, this problem is very easy and interesting problem. So let's try to code its solution, that how this problem we will code this problem. So here I am using Python 3 language. You can use any other language from here. So the solution is very easy. You can uh, code a solution in any other language. So first we will see that we have to traverse the whole array. Okay, so because we have to find each one present in the array. So here if we want to traverse, we know that the basic method or basic approach to traverse the whole array is loop. So here I'm using the loop, for loop, and here we have to also we need value and we need index. Okay, So to calculate this, because we need value should be 1, so we have to need the value or extract the value from the array. And because we have to compare the ones where the ones are present or not, and we also need their indexes because we also have to measure their distance. So here I am using index and values. So here in the Python, we use enumerate if we need both values and index. Okay. So here at first iteration, here will be index, and this ind variable will have the index, and this values variable will have the values. Okay. So along with the array, we also need a variable in which we will save the index or the distance of the between two ones present. Okay, so here you can use any name. I am using this. So here I will initialize this variable with none. Okay, so later I will tell why we are initializing this with none. Okay, so let's move forward. So here we will get the index and we will get the value present at the index. Okay, now we will use some simply some if else conditions. So first of all, we have to check that if we have ones or not present in the array, because we have only concern with one. So we have to ignore these zeros because we don't need to know where zero is present or no. We have only concern with the one, that where one is present. So here I will use if condition, that if here in the values, if values is equal to 1. So here I will check that if values is equal to 1, then what I will do, I will get the index of that value, because on the base of index we have to calculate the distance between two ones. So if for example we will also understand with this example, like for example we are considering the example number 1. So here when we this loop will start reversing, so at this location it will start from 0 index. So here the at first iteration, here the ind value will be 0 and the values value will be 1. So it will check that if value is equal to 1. So here we can see that this condition is true. So it will save the index value, which is 0, to this distance variable. Okay, so now this variable value updated from none to 0. Okay, so this is one condition which will check that if we have the one in the array or not. Okay, so now we will use more conditions. The other condition will also if condition, and what this if condition will check, this if condition will check that if this is not none. So let me write this condition, then I will explain that why we have to use this condition and what is the purpose of this condition. Okay, so here let me remove this. Okay, okay, so now what the purpose of this condition is, this if condition is that this if condition, because we have to calculate the distance between two ones. Okay, when we have two ones in the array, then we can calculate the distance. So but if for example we are at first location, like in this example we are at 0 index and we find r1, so we can't calculate here the distance because we have only one ones is available now. So we have the index of only one one is present. So we have two ones in the array to calculate the distance, but at first we have only one distance is present in this disk. So that's why we have to make sure that when we have two ones in the array, then we will use the condition to calculate the distance between them. So this condition, at first we know that we initialize this disk with none. Okay, so here we know that if this is not none, so it means that we are not present at first one, because at first, for example, we are at this one, so this condition will not be true, because at first our this is equal to none, so this condition will not execute or not will be true. So we will check this condition. Okay, so this condition is true, so our now our this will update it from none to 0. Okay, after that, in this in the next iteration, it will check if 0 is present. So at the next index, this condition will not be true, because this is now not equal to none, but value is not equal to 1. So here the value, we can see that at one index value is equal to 0, so this condition will not be true, and this condition will also not be true, because value is not equal to 1. So this condition will be false at the next index, at this index also. And when it will came to that index, it will check that if this is not none, so yes, this is not equal to none, because we know that this have the value 0 or index 0. Okay, so now it will check the second condition, that if the value is 0, then yes, here the value is equal to 0. Okay, so these both condition are true, then it will go to check the next condition. So we will write another condition here in this, which will be nested. So we can see that this is nested if condition. Okay, so that condition will check the distance between these two ones. Okay, so we will check the distance. How we will check the distance? Because we know that the index of the previous variable is saved in this, and the index of new one is saved in this ind variable. So we will simply subtract them from each other, and we will check that after subtracting the index, these two indexes, the they are greater than the value of k or not. Okay, so we will subtract this index, and we will subtract the index of this one. Okay, so we will subtract these two indexes, and after subtracting them, we will compare their value. Like we know that here the index is 1, sorry 0, and here 1 2 3 and 4, here the index is 4. So we will like subtract the index minus 4, and if we will calculate that this is greater than the value of k or not. So here we can see that this is not greater than the value of k. So what we are doing here is we are also using not condition, because we have to check that if the index is distance between these two indexes is greater or equal to k, then we will move to next iteration. But if this condition is not true, like we can see in this example here, so what we will do, we will stop our loop, because we know that if at any one location, if this condition will not be true, then we have to stop, and we will simply return false. Okay, we will simply return false. And if this condition will not be true, then it will continue it traversal till the last index of the array. And if it reached the last index of the array and this condition will not be true at any index, that then it means that the distance between all the ones are greater or equal to k. So we will simply return true. Okay, so now let's run this or check if this is accepting or this is running. on the test cases. Okay, so according to these two test cases, the generated output is same as the expected output. So let's try to submit this in the Leetcode and check if it is running on all the test cases or not. Okay, so this is running on all the test cases, as we can see that. So that's it for today. Goodbye.